In this video, I am going to smoke a 3-pound skinless salmon fillet. So the first thing I'm going to do is coat it with avocado oil and sprinkle my rub on. Okay, next up will be a 250 pellet smoker, and I'll run temperature probes to let me know when the salmon gets up to 145 so that I can bring it in and serve it. All right, we're on the smoker. It's just coming up to 250. What I do with salmon and most pieces of fish protein is, and I learned this trick from a friend. He uses an aluminum foil, tube that he makes to raise his fish up off of the grill. I already had these cooling racks that I use for my little smoker, and so what I do is set these to offset to get more airflow under. It's not cooking directly on the grill. A couple of modifications I've made to my smoker this year. I first started with I made my own downdraft device out of a disposable aluminum baking pan, which basically, instead of the smoke coming across the top of the smoker and out, downdraft. It forces it out, I'm stuttering, and over the meat. After I was doing some research online, I found this amazing product made by Don Godke. I can never get his name right, so I bought one and actually spoke to him on the phone a couple of times. Great guy. To me, it's brilliant. It does exactly what I've done. I've done a couple of cooks with downdraft this year already for groups, and folks have come up to me that have eaten stuff that I've made for the groups in previous years and said, "What are you doing different?" Something is better. It's smokier. It just tastes better. So for me, I don't know that this is for everyone. Downdraft works for me. So we'll go ahead and load our salmon up, leaving it on the parchment paper. And then I'm just going to probe the thick parts, or the thick part first. To let me know when I'm getting to 145. And then I'll come down here and probe where it's a little bit thinner. So if this part of the fillet gets up to 145 before this part, because it's thicker, what I can do is I can just come out and cut it off and then continue smoking the remainder of the protein. So that's it. One of the many great things that I love about having a pellet smoker, and this particular pellet smoker is a Yoder, is I can have an app on my phone that lets me know what's going on in the smoker. So for instance, I can look at my pit temperature, I can see what each of my probes are doing. In this instance, because I have a thick and a thin end and I have a temperature differential between the two, I have alerts set up both in the app and to come through SMS through the Fireboard app that will tell me when that part of the fillet is at my desired temperature, which is 145. Then I can go out with a hand thermometer and figure out where the differential starts and begins, cut that piece of the fillet off, and then continue cooking the remainder of the fillet up to the 145 point, which is again where I want the doneness to be. All right, our first probe, if you can see my watch, is at 145, or the second probe is at 145, and the first one is just a little bit below at 139. So what I'll do is take the 145 part of the fish, and now we'll wait for the remainder. All right, we're right at 2 hours, maybe a minute over 2 hours from the time the smoker was fired, and we have 145 on our remaining cut. One of the benefits of using the parchment paper is that I can move the cut around on the grill because, again, there's a slight, like a temperature or two, or a degree or two variation. So then all I have to do is load this up here and take it inside and let it rest. One thing that I will do now at the end of the cook, because this is a pellet smoker, I'll actually just leave it running and let it starve itself and go out. A very good friend of mine had this exact smoker, and unfortunately he left, and we both used to do it, left the hopper and the tube filled with pellets, and humidity got the best of him. The pellets became swollen and basically seized his drive up. He couldn't clear it out. He ended up junking the smoker. So again, it's not an absolute, but all it takes is for me it to happen with someone else. So at the end of every cook, I just go ahead and take the pellets, what's left over in the hopper, take them back out, and then let the smoker starve itself. Okay, in from the smoker. This filet is still resting. Very smoky. Oh, an amazing smoky smell. I took a little corner off and did a sample. Great amount of smoke. That first piece that I took off, which is almost gone because my testers tested it, not as much smoke because it wasn't on the pellet smoker as long, but it's still delicious. And again, this is, I don't like fish, but I love salmon. I'm learning to like fish. And for me, if I can smoke any protein, it makes it that much better, or cheese, or anything else. So, but that's it. Right around 2 hours from the time, as I said before, from firing up the smoker until I pulled the main part of the fillet off of the smoker, and now it's resting. I'm going to actually put this in the refrigerator in a container, but if I were serving this, I would portion it out, have my sides ready, and again, I would budget my time so that I could fire the smoker and be ready to serve between 2 and 2.5 hours. Until next time.